Welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I just got blown up by a creeper. Thankfully, it managed to avoid exploding these chests and these shulker boxes, but that has served as a bit of a painful reminder that I need to work out some way to light up this forest. And to be honest with you, this entire town. I've managed to avoid anything disastrous happening so far, but there has definitely been some close shaves. Regardless, to start things off today, I'm going to be ignoring all of that, and instead I'm getting straight to business. I'm going to be expanding my forest. This area is fantastic, everywhere else isn't, so let's get to work on building. And I thought this would work best in the form of a time lapse. And I'm going to be honest, I actually found this a little bit more challenging than when I initially designed the forest. You see, when I was coming up with the ideas for the forest, I had the photos of Fontainebleau in my head, and I had them up on my screen as a mood board, and I was kind of working from them, and I was taking creative choices. Since I did that, though, I've actually learned a little bit more about building and a little bit more about creating custom trees and things. But obviously, I don't want one side to look completely different to the other, so that meant that I was trying to stick with what the designs initially were, whilst also trying to improve them ever so subtly. So there's a little bit more of a gradient, they're a little bit more airy, and I would say they're a tiny bit more conical in shape. Is that even a word? Then it came to doing all of the terraforming and things underneath, and that I felt a little bit more comfortable with. All of the packed dirt and things just goes in there. Favorite block in the game, I will stand by that. And then of course building up all of the boulders and general forestry bits and pieces. I am really happy with how everything has come together here. So let's take a bit of a fly around. I am pretty amazed at how much more finished my base now looks. Now that we've filled in that little gap down there with the trees, this thing now looks like an actual thing. Oh gosh, how do I get out of cinematic mode? I'm panicking. Oh, I need to change my field of view. This poor hillside. I keep just peppering it with explosions. Yeah, this looks so good. This looks so good. We do still have a little bit more work to do down at the bottom here. I kind of hadn't realized how foliaged up this side of the forest was. Yeah, there's plants. Yeah, there's a little bit more vinage. Okay, so we need to go back through and just do a quick pass of just general greenery, because yeah, this side feels significantly more dead, but the broad strokes are perfect, and I think it frames all of the builds really nicely. But before we do that, there's something I want to do. Scale with enderman, then gather up some kelp, smelt up the kelp, gradually craft those kelp into blocks, and now we can get to work on building. And I just want to say, even if this idea doesn't work, I want to say thank you to the absolute legend that put this down in the comment section, because it's such a genius idea, and I wish I remembered who you were. I know I replied to you, but I can't find the comment anywhere. I can't remember what episode it was on. They essentially wrote a comment about this pile of hay bales here. And they said, it looks a little bit strange that we've got these perfectly preserved hay bales right next to the toxic waste. And I have to say, I totally agree. I couldn't think of a way to get around it, so I just left it. But they suggested that I replace the hay bales with kelp blocks. And oh my goodness, is this perfect? So, I think I'm going to do like half of it as if it's like seeping upwards and the hay is dying. It turns out we're going to need a lot more kelp than I expected. Nice. Okay, that works. I do kind of wish we had some way to transition between the kelp and then the hay bales. I'm literally just scrolling through the creative mode menu, seeing if there's any blocks that fit the bill. Moss is like the closest, but it needs to have that hay bale structure. Those kind of like tie down things. Weirdly, melon might actually be the in-between. Let me just see. It actually feels ridiculous even saying it. Right, I'm going to build up a pile of kelp. Oh my goodness. It almost feels like... That works, doesn't it? Am I going crazy or does that work? I don't know. I feel like it does. I also feel like these need to go at the very top of our toxic sludge. Like, it should go melon blocks and then slime blocks and then the glass. How did I forget about the melons? I don't even know where one would even acquire melons. How does one get melons? There must be someone on the server that has a melon and pumpkin farm. There has to be. I would imagine it's my neighbor, right? My shop neighbor? Melons? Yes? No? Ooh, okay. I forgot to bring any diamonds, so I'm going to have to make sure that I've actually made some sales. Have I? Yes, quite a lot. Goodness gracious. Thankfully, the gold shop is still very well stocked, as is the item frame shop. I'm not gonna lie, one stack of melon slices for a diamond does seem incredibly expensive. You have to be really careful with these. Right, the melons are going in. This does feel slightly weird, not gonna lie. But you know what? I think that looks so much better than the kelp to hay transition. I'm gonna put a single melon over here, and I'm going to use my last 2 remaining melons up at the top here. That might actually look bad. Yeah, it actually looks kind of pants, doesn't it? That's one for the future, I would say. So our toxic waste hay bales have been completed. They look lovely. Now let's do all the decoration in the forest. And that is now done. And it is amazing how much difference just like little spikes and little bits of grass and a handful of pom-poms makes. Definitely to the boulders. Like, they go from just looking slightly strange to actually looking like they're part of the world with the moss on top, and then you got the vines and all of the grass growing up next to them. This is now a really nice place to walk around. And oh, there's one creative choice that I made with this that I'm still not 100% certain on. Essentially, I wanted to frame up the database nicely, so it's kind of between the trees. And I wanted there to be like a little meadow down here, so this is purely just moss and grass. And I think it makes a nice change to the forest on either side. Like, if I fly out, it's kind of broken up into 2, and I think it works really, really well. Oh, there's also something else that I was experimenting with when I was building up the trees, which is different fence post colors for the tips. Because we've got the jungle fence posts, and they're quite close to a lot of the textures and colors at the back here, I thought maybe we could mix things up. Maybe let me know down in the comment section. If I look over at Scar's trees, he just randomly has cyan up at the top, and it kind of doesn't make any sense for the tree itself, but it looks great. And part of me wonders if I should also take that approach over here. Or maybe I should have some of them be jungle, some of them be mangroves, some of them be the warped stuff. That could look nice. Regardless, I'm really happy with how all of this has come together. So now I have a quick message from Mr. Big Ron himself. Welcome to Big Ron's Tech. It's always boxes. And now let's get to work on building my childhood home. I spoke about it while I was planning out all of the builds for this base. I have never really had a house on the Hermitcraft server in one of my bases. Like, I always just kind of sleep in a bed that exists next to my storage system. I never actually have a home, a place that I stay in, which is kind of funny because that's kind of the point of a base, right? Like, it's kind of the home. So I really wanted to build one. It's going up at the top here, but I have no clue what it looks like. I mean, if we base it on my suit and my mustache, it should be like a little manor house for the butler. But maybe this is like a rags to riches story. Maybe I am the butler. I do give off butler energy. I'm going to do some thinking and see what I come up with. And that thinking led me to this house from Napoleon Dynamite. There are a few other houses that I came up with from various other films, but Napoleon Dynamite actually kind of sums up the vibe of the town that I'm creating. I really do feel like my little town here actually fits within the cinematic universe of Napoleon Dynamite. So I've hopped into a creative mode testing world, and I've goofed around a little bit, and I've come up with this little thing. Now, this is just a draft, so there's still plenty of things I'm going to change when I actually put it into the world, but there are a few things I wanted to experiment with. The things that I thought were key were the aerials and the different satellite dishes and stuff like that. I tried my best to make a lawn flamingo. Honestly, I don't know if this has worked or not. But yeah, we've got a little rusty porch. We've got little window shades. That's one thing that was very clear in the Napoleon Dynamite still. And also this little wooden trim that goes underneath the roof. I actually think that looks quite cool. Then these, I don't know what they are, but it helps break up the brickiness. I'm a big fan of what I've created here. So let's build it up on the Hermitcraft server. First things first, a little bit of resource gathering. Soon, every building will be complete, and I will finally be able to make my automated storage system. Oh my goodness, I've got mail. I did actually send some mail to Skiz. I don't know if he's seen it at all, but I've got 2 other bits of mail. Okay, somebody sent me gold. Wait, what? 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 Is someone doing like postage scams or something? Under my name? What is happening here? What is going on? Oh, this is good. Okay, I'm happy with this, but why is someone pretending to be me? It exists. Is this what? Somebody please explain. Please explain. Please explain. Wait a minute, is someone playing 4D chess here? Because, like, this is free advertising, which I guess is great, except for the fact that I have made it very clear I don't want my gold shop to sell out. Is someone doing this to me? That is devious. That is absolutely devious. Why on earth would I choose to make a build out of bricks? I mean, seriously, what was I actually thinking? I almost forgot that I'm rich and don't have to put up with this stuff. Although with the current prices in the shopping district, I'm progressively becoming less rich. Might be time for another 12-hour mining session soon. So this is where the house is going. I fannied around for long enough. Let's get to work on building it. I don't know why. Even when I have a solid plan, like I know pretty much exactly what I'm going to do, I still find ways to be scared of starting. I mean, look at this thing. It's basically a full build. This is fine. I'm just going to build up the basic framework so I can get a feel for the size of this thing and see how it works in the composition of the village, because that's the thing that matters most to me. Okay, we're not off to a bad start. Let's get our roof installed. I don't know why I still use like redstone-y engineering terms when it comes to building. It's like I'll be placing something completely decorative and I'll refer to it as like a component of a build or something like that. Gosh, this thing looks so weird when it's this bare bones. But I have faith. I mean, I know it's gonna work. I've literally got the build. What is with me at the minute? I'm so panicky. Right, what do I do here? This is interesting. Do I just mine in? Maybe my panic is slightly justified though, because I feel like the pitched roof in a world of flat roofs looks a little bit strange at this point in time. But it could also be because this thing is functionally detailless. I don't know though. My this looked strange senses are tingling. I'm gonna start just getting some of the details in and start getting this thing fleshed out a little bit so it looks more like a proper build. Things are gradually improving. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. It still looks a bit pants. I'll be the first to admit it, but it is not as pants as it was before. It's gone from pants to shorts. Yep. You see, in England, pants means underwear. So we've transitioned out of the underwear phase, but now it's shorts. I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. You may be able to tell from the tone of my voice. That was a real moment of clarity for me. I don't know what I'm doing. A full hour has passed since the previous clip. I just keep placing a single block and then flying over here and then questioning my life choices. I don't know what it is, but it is not looking right. I think we just need to mess it up. I think this needs to have way more just like rubbish on it. So I'm going to start throwing in some granite into our brick. Okay, so the house is kind of held together in a slightly strange way. Do we have any terracotta? I did bring some terracotta. Okay, I'm going to chuck that into the mix as well. I think I just need more diversity of textures. I think in the context of my incredibly noisy village, this looked just way too simple. Oh my goodness. Yeah, already. How has that happened? How is it so much better already? What on earth? Okay, it's starting to actually look like part of the structures now. Right, this roof needs something. I don't know what. When in doubt, air vents, some form of air conditioning unit, or whatever. Yes. Now that I've got all of the aerials and just little bits dangling off the roof, it's finally coming together. Goodness gracious me, existential crisis averted. How is it that I manage to have a crisis every single build that I do? That shouldn't even be physically possible. This tiny little 7x7 house has taken me a full day. And it's not finished, but it's taken me a full day. Oh, what? After playing in silence for a while, considering my life choices, the build is now done. And I gotta say, having had the roughest time with this build, it is looking really quite cool. I've forgotten the door. I think the thing that has actually massively helped this out is the fact that I've added in a lawn. I've got the lawn. I forgot the flamingo. Oh my goodness. Oh, I placed the door in the wrong place. Let's just start that one again quickly. Something, life choices, build finished. And now that I've got all the details in, this is perfect. It actually fits in with all of the other builds that I've got in the area. It's slightly different in style. You can clearly see that this is a residential building compared to the more commercial ones down here. It's cluttered, but in a homely way. It adds really nicely to the composition of the entire build. We get this really nice, satisfying sort of loop going around like this, and that will continue on with the next few builds. It looks cool from a distance and also from up close. It even looks nice from this angle. I'm chuffed. I'm really happy with how this has come together. So now I'm going to get my head down and do a little bit of Minecraft terraforming. And while I was doing this, I started thinking about the entire mountainside surrounding my base, because you see, all of the area around it currently is pretty much vanilla Minecraft terrain, and I do feel like I want to do something with it, but I am not sure what. I think I'm going to run into problems with textures whatever I do. Like, if I make it more stony, all of the grey textures will blend in. If I make it more green, all of the green textures will blend in. Part of me thinks that maybe going granite and coarse dirt would be a good move, but then there's so many brown textures that they'll all blend in. And I'm honestly not sure what to do. So I would highly appreciate your suggestions down in the comment section, and maybe this is something that I'll need to call some help in for. But for now, let's hop back onto the Hermitcraft server.
I just think you've got the most perfect face.
Thanks.
I need it.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, all right. I guess I got 94 levels, but you know what?
No.
You know what? No, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
you
it's
need
not
my face.
fine.
It is
Have you got
fine.
something you can spend that on?
Nope, nothing. I guess I'm gonna spend 7 of my levels on you. Is that how many levels you'll get? You'll get 7 from me. Nice.
Yeah. Now I feel bad.
No, it's all right. I mean, look. To be fair, you shouldn't be able to kill someone without feeling a little bit bad. You know, like there should be a.
Face.
See, that's a worse thing to say when you're about to kill someone. Like, I don't think that would actually ease my concern in a situation.
Wait. Look at the floor.
Yep.
Have you grayed?
Have I?
Are you getting old?
Oh gosh.
What's going on with your I see you removed the waffle, but when did you become Dracula?
What?
What?
No, I'm just. This is me, isn't it?
No, I've known you a very long time. I don't think you've ever had a grey streak. You're like Doctor Strange.
Does it at least look good?
Sure.
Kill me. Kill me, Grian. Kill me.
All right.
Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth.
Where did you go? Where are you? Oh, how did you do that?
What do you mean?
You disappeared.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you die. What do
Yeah,
you?
I was looking around here and then okay.
Oh
Look,
my goodness.
Look.
Yep.
Tell me.
Yep.
Has that always been there?
Yeah,
You
that's a
didn't
good.
know that was there, did you?
No, this is kind of concerning. I'm a tired-looking boy. What on earth is going on? Oh, well.
I think your eyes might be darker too.
Yeah, that is a problem.
What have you done to your skin?
That's a genuine concern. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, by the way, actually, on the topic of skins and things like that, I have a funny story. If you fly down to the bottom here with me, this guy over here, genuinely, and I don't mean to sound mean, okay? Genuinely, I picked this up.
Sounding mean.
I picked up this head thinking it was your head.
No, you didn't.
It was a genuine thing. I feel really bad about it.
You did it. There's no way you thought that an actual cod head was me.
It was just Indian. Look in this. Look in this.
What?
No, in this one here.
Someone's sending you all these heads?
Yeah. And look.
What do the books say?
I don't actually know, but more importantly,
maybe these hold answers.
Well, no, I think Jem just sent me a bunch of heads because I think I needed them for my armor stands. But see, have you not noticed something weird about the Grian head? Because that will prove my point.
Oh right. Oh. Oh. I see. Oh, I didn't notice. Oh no, I've just proved the point. Oh, I just proved the point.
Thank you.
I didn't even notice there were fish heads in there.
That has gone spectacularly well, and I apologise. So we're both a mess. We're both a mess. Okay, you're a fish. I'm an old bloke. Oh.
I'm really worried about how this has happened.
It's always a silly, goofy time when Grian comes over. Anyway, let's take a look at what I've built. All of my terraforming is now all completed, and the house up at the top here is looking significantly better already. I also did a little bit of extra non-terraforming. I decided to add in the radio towers on either side of the town. They will become more important in the future. And again, I'm not sure if this counts as terraforming, but I've also added in a little staircase that takes us up to the top level. So all of this is accessible for all of the residents. And I feel like I say this every single Hermitcraft episode, but the addition of this is really tying everything together and is making the whole place look a lot more complete. Like this and this combined These two things that I've worked on in this episode have made an enormous difference. It looks absolutely adorable, and there's only like 2 spots left in the town, and then this first phase of my base will be complete, which means I'll be moving on to phase 2 and 3. And if I remember correctly from when I was planning out this thing, this build right here is meant to be connected up to these towers, and it's kind of, sort of part of the laboratory. It's also going to have something to do with phase 3, and I'll be getting onto that later. But you know what? I wasn't really planning on this. I think I'm going to try my best to finish the build today. Like, if I stick with a fairly similar design language to what we have going on with the laboratory, make use of some of the same references, make use of the concept art as well, I think I can slap something together. Okay, let's try and think here. So we're going to start off with the cyany blocks once again. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but this kind of feels right. Now, just as a trial, I'm placing a bunch of random blocks here. I'm imagining these being redstone components with all sorts of wires connecting up everything. It's definitely interesting. And then if we cap that off with another white border, I think maybe we could be in business. I am making things up on the fly here. This feels strange. I'm so used to planning things out these days. How does this feel? Kind of weird, but kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like the scale is off with the rest of the village. I feel like it is because of the double 2 blockers. The double 2 block white bands are a bit rough, so I think I'm going to try and swap them out with various different types of slabs. I guess I only have diorite and quartz as my options, and I guess iron trapdoors as another potential. How does this look? Okay, I would say it looks a little bit better. I actually think the bottom one now needs the same treatment. I think it needs to just match up with Ron's, to be honest. This is a potentially stupid idea, but I am rolling with it. I like the idea of there almost being a light bulb up here, as if the thing is switched on. Does this look like sparking electricity? I'm trying to take a leaf out of Scar's book with all the particles and things. It just kind of looks like an N, doesn't it? I think it's because it lines up with this too well. Definitely. What if I try filling it in? Oh, I don't know. Maybe if there's 2 of them? This is why I plan things. Oh, that's actually better though. That is actually better. Yeah, I'm actually kind of on board with it. It kind of looks like a plug, but I think that's a good thing. I have absolutely no idea how Scar does this. I don't know if there's a technique that I should be using for particles. This is my absolute first attempt at doing anything like that. And I actually don't think it's that bad. I mean, you can barely notice it, but I think that's a good thing. Anyway, I think it's time we start pumping some electricity into the ground. I reckon these 2 cables should do the trick. Nice. Once they're covered up, that should look good. I'm also going to have another cable coming out the front of this thing and going across into this mountainside. And I'll get onto that later. Nice one. Get some XP. Don't worry, I'm not going to jump scare you this time. Just kidding. I personally think acacia trapdoors make the best wires, especially as they mix really nicely with the copper trapdoors. Gradually getting there. This feels really weird. I'm just placing fake redstone everywhere. But you know what? It sort of works. And again, I'm just adding like guttering and things to the build. I'm not gonna lie, this build is coming along really well just because I am working fast and I'm not thinking too much about everything. I am just spraying blocks. Maybe because it's the last build, maybe because I've only had 3 hours of sleep, but I am unencumbered by my own brain. This is an interesting little thing. I just need to do a tiny bit of terraforming around the bottom because it being surrounded by a grassy meadow seems a little bit weird. So pack dirt and granite to the rescue. Just the absolute final finishing touches now, and the base area is now all completed. And I thought it would be really interesting to take a look at the concept art that I originally painted for what I wanted this part of my base to look like. And I gotta say, I think I did a pretty good job at actually bringing this concept into life. Here it is. This is the beginnings of my base. This is phase 1, all done and dusted. The town is done. All of the businesses are in place. All of the buildings that I wanted are now all in place. We've got the laboratory. We've got extra bits and pieces, like the toxic waste spill and things. Now, of course, I will be doing extra bits to all of these builds. I still have all of the interiors to do. I also want to do some armor stand bits. Of course, I actually need to install my storage system so this thing actually gets used. Because for those who don't remember, this is my storage system. So all of the items that I have are going to be automatically sorted into the different buildings, which will store the different types of items. So for example, Big Ron's tech store, that's my redstone stuff. Willie's woodyard, that's all my wood bits. You get the idea. The database is in place and functioning. We've got a fully terraformed forest. We've got a working loading elevator here that functions in the most ridiculous and over-the-top way. I mean, it's kind of satisfying to watch, but also it is painfully slow, but I'm saying that is because it can take such hefty loads. You know, technically this thing does belong to the Boulder Bros. They're lugging boulders up and down this platform here, so obviously this thing needs to be able to transport some serious goods. I'm chuffed to bits with how everything has come together here. This has been one of the most rewarding Minecraft projects that I've worked on. It's by far one of my favorite Minecraft builds that I have completed. It's been so fun just diving into the details and working out stupid things, coming up with silly little designs, adding graphic design stuff into I mean, what have I been doing? This has been the biggest change of pace I think I've ever experienced in my entire life when it comes to making Minecraft content. But it has been so incredibly rewarding, and seeing it all come to life and seeing how everyone has reacted to it as well makes me incredibly happy. So here we are. Phase 1. It is complete. Phase 1 is complete. Sweet. Okay. Alright, now on to phase 2.